What you are about to hear is not just any theory or prediction. It is a direct warning for you. If this message showed up before your eyes, it's no coincidence. It's the universe making sure you're here. Now don't pause, don't fast forward, don't close this video, because until October 31st, 2025, a gigantic spiritual portal is opening over humanity. And only those who understand its purpose will be able to cross it. This is not a normal period. It is a silent test, a final assessment of your awakening. The universe wants to see whether your transformation is real or if you've only been repeating words without changing your essence. In these days, your new timeline, your health, your relationships, your abundance, your mission will be defined. Every thought, every decision, and every emotion is being recorded as evidence of who you are choosing to be. The energy entering the planet is not here to hold up what is false. It's here to bring it down. That's why you feel fatigue, doubt, intense emotions, or the sensation that the world is changing right under your feet. It's all part of the exam. If this video found you, it is because you're part of the small group that was called by destiny. Don't look away. What I'm going to reveal now will be the difference between those who manage to ascend to the next level and those who get trapped in the same story. Get ready. This is your final notice before the portal finishes opening. Before moving forward with what is about to be unleashed, I need you to anchor your energy in this moment. It's the way to show the universe that you are not here by chance or for entertainment, but because you're ready to participate consciously in this transition. Write the number 111 in the comments. It is an activation code, a sign that you are present, awake, and prepared to receive the information that has been reserved for you. If this message resonated with you, subscribe now and activate the bell. You need to receive the next signals and energy updates so you don't fall behind while the portal remains active. I want you to consciously understand what is happening energetically at this moment. The days leading up to October 31st are known by most people as a worldly celebration called Halloween, something many see as costumes, candy, and superficial laughter. You've seen it thousands of times: masks, orange decorations, and scares that only play with fear. However, behind all that, there is a much deeper mystery, an ancestral truth that few remember and even fewer understand. Ancient cultures knew something that has been lost over the centuries. This is the time of Samhain. Samhain is the most sacred point of the year in Celtic traditions. It marks the closing of one cycle and the opening of an entirely new one. It is the precise moment when the energetic veil that separates our physical world from the spiritual world becomes extremely thin, almost imperceptible. I want you to visualize that vibrational barrier like a membrane of light that, during the rest of the year, remains firm and stable, but in this period begins to dissolve, allowing a more direct connection with your ancestors, with your spiritual guides, and with higher versions of yourself that exist on other planes. This is not poetry or fantasy. It is a quantum truth your soul already knows. When that energetic barrier weakens, all the aspects you have tried to keep hidden rise to the surface: emotional wounds, karmic patterns repeated over years, and your deepest shadows that seek to be seen and transformed. It's as if life places you in front of a spiritual mirror that forces you to observe what still requires evolution. Meanwhile, the planet is also reacting. The Schumann resonance, known as the Earth's electromagnetic pulse, has begun to show irregular spikes that even conventional science has difficulty explaining. These fluctuations are not random. Earth is responding to cosmic waves of energy that come to raise its vibration, and you are part of that process. Your body, your emotions, and your mind are being called to synchronize with that change, to rise, to vibrate higher. This 4-day period functions like a pressure cooker for evolution. Imagine the universe placing you in an intensive spiritual training room, where everything misaligned in your life becomes evident with the purpose of helping you grow. Here your emotional maturity is tested, your ability to listen to your intuition, and your trust in the invisible. It's an opportunity to graduate, to overcome the limitations that kept you small, and to finally assume your role as a conscious creator of your own reality. And here comes the first spiritual test, the one you are already feeling in your own body without fully understanding it, the test of extreme sensitivity. Tell me if this has happened to you lately. You're going about your normal activities, and suddenly an intense emotion pierces you. You're in the supermarket and a deep sadness appears for no reason. You're talking with someone and a wave of anxiety awakens within you as if that emotion belonged to someone else. You wake up with a sensation you cannot explain, as if you had absorbed emotions that were not your own. This is not a coincidence either. Your empathic gifts are being greatly amplified. Your clairsentience is awakening, and you are perceiving the emotional charge of the collective consciousness with an intensity you've never experienced. It's as if you were an extremely sensitive, energetic instrument, picking up every vibration in your environment. Your task here is not to shut down or disconnect, but to learn to distinguish what belongs to you from what comes from outside. Each time an intense emotion visits you, make a conscious pause and ask yourself, is this emotion really mine? Speaking to your energy in this way turns you into the master of your own vibrational field. I want you to visualize each morning a sphere of bright light surrounding your entire body, acting as an intelligent membrane that allows in only love, calm, clarity, and elevated energy, and that transforms and dissolves any charge that does not belong to you. That is real spiritual training, learning to keep your center even when the world around you is in emotional chaos. This is your training field to become an energetic sovereign. You are learning to be the peace within the storm, the light within collective confusion. Those who ignore this test will feel drained, irritable, and overwhelmed by emotional stimuli they do not understand. Those who pass it will emerge from this portal with an extremely clear intuition, with sharpened spiritual gifts, and with a deep certainty that their energy does not collapse before anything or anyone. That is the mark of the chosen, those who remember who they are in the moments when most people forget their light. This increased sensitivity is also entering fully into your dream world. I ask you to pay deep attention to the content of your nights. During the next 4 nights that bring us to October 31st, your dreams become a direct portal to your subconscious and to that spiritual realm that vibrates so close to your energetic field these days. With the veil so thin, what you dream becomes more real than ever. Hyper-vivid images, messages that seem prophetic, symbols that return to repeat something you need to understand, encounters that leave you with a sensation that is impossible to ignore. You may receive visits from ancestors or from loved ones who left this dimension long ago. They draw near to accompany you, to bring guidance and calm, and in some cases loving warnings that could change the course of your upcoming months. I recommend keeping a notebook or journal next to your bed. Write everything down as soon as you open your eyes, even if the images seem fragmented or strange. Although they may seem like loose pieces now, later you will discover patterns, messages, and answers you had been waiting for a long time. When you dream of water, your soul is speaking to you about your emotional body. Water represents cleansing, inner movements, transformation of charged memories. If you dream you are flying or falling, you are experiencing the balance between your desire for control and your surrender to the spiritual path that is already unfolding for you. What you are dreaming is a compilation of direct information from your soul and your guides, a roadmap that shows you which wounds are asking for healing, who your true alliances are, and where your greatest opportunities are found. The test at this stage consists of honoring that information. Each dream is a sacred text that comes from your own personal divine university. Give yourself space to feel its meaning. You can meditate for a few minutes each morning while you recall the strongest details. Ask for clarity with intention. Ask yourself, what is my soul trying to show me with this? The answers you have been seeking for so long are now being delivered to you in a direct and powerful way. Your purpose, your steps, your relationships, your financial path, everything is there each night, like a silver tray brimming with cosmic energy delivered especially for you. You only need to be present, receptive, and attentive. If you have felt this emotional roller coaster, if your empathy is at its highest, if your dreams have become more intense or harder to ignore, I want you to confirm this connection right now. This is very important because it helps your mind recognize that everything you are living has a profound meaning. In the comments write, "I feel this." With that simple phrase, you send a message to the universe. I am aware, I am listening. You also create an energetic network with everyone else who is going through exactly the same thing as you. Your expression at this moment has a purpose. Each of us is a point of light awakening together. Go ahead, write "I feel this" and feel how your heart connects with the collective awakening. Now we enter the second spiritual test, the test of divine synchronicity. The universe is speaking to you non-stop. The question is, are you paying attention? During these next 4 days, the synchronicities multiply. You begin to see repeated number sequences in various places. The clock shows 11:11. The receipt shows 2:22. An ad reveals 3:33. A license plate shines 4:44. These numerical codes appear to activate your awareness and confirm that you are moving in the right direction. When you see them, make a conscious pause, breathe, say within yourself, "Thank you," and notice exactly what you were thinking at that instant. That thought is the key. There lies the message your guides want you to understand, and it goes far beyond the numbers. You think of a song, and it appears on the radio as if dedicated to you at that very moment. You have a doubt, an inner question, and suddenly the answer arrives in a line from a movie, in a conversation you overhear on the street, or in a phrase written on a billboard. You remember someone you hadn't spoken to in years, and that very day they text or call you. That synchronicity doesn't happen by chance. It is the way the universe shows you its living intelligence. It is demonstrating that you are both influence and result within an energy field that responds to your intention, that beats with you. The first part of this test is a test of total attention. Many people walking through these days will simply see lights, numbers, and coincidences without stopping to feel. They will remain asleep, convinced that everything extraordinary is a coincidence. The chosen one, you, does something different. You look for the magic. You expect signs. You understand that the universe is always speaking, and so you listen. By being attentive, you will see what others never manage to see. The second part is a test of trust and action. Seeing a sign is one step. Following its guidance is the real challenge. If you receive hints that a new work path is opening for you, or that a relationship needs to be healed to make room for something better, or that your body is asking for attention and care to sustain the energy that's coming, the test is to dare to move. The universe is offering an intelligent guidance system for your spiritual growth. Each sign is an invitation, and you are the one who decides whether you take it or ignore it. During these 4 days, every synchronicity that appears is an opportunity to improve your reality. The essential question is, will you accept that invitation? You are standing before the path that can lead you to the life you've always dreamed of, a life more aligned, freer, more abundant, and full of meaning. Step by step, sign after sign, the universe is lighting the way before you. Your future is waiting for your courage. Go on, listen, observe, act. This sacred dialogue you are living through synchronicities is the universe tuning your energy, preparing you for deeper tests that are already beginning to manifest in your life with an intensity impossible to ignore. If you are attentive, you already feel a strong movement within, a silent announcement that the third spiritual test is beginning to activate inside you. This is one of the most decisive tests of the entire 4-day portal, the test of Shadow Purge. This is the moment when the universe places a mirror in front of your soul and asks you directly, Are you willing to see what you avoided for years, perhaps for several lifetimes? You have carried heavy baggage, wounds that never fully closed, fears that remained hidden in your inner corners, beliefs that limited your starting point, emotional patterns that repeat again and again, as if the story refused to let you go. All of that has been stored in your body, in your mind, and in your energetic memory. Those invisible programs that have slowed your personal expansion and sabotaged your chances for happiness, well-being, and prosperity. And in these days, while the veil is almost gone, everything hidden is illuminated to come to the surface. The energies entering the planet carry such a high vibration that they are pushing outward all the old, dense energies that can no longer travel with you in your evolution. It feels like a massive cleansing, a process of emptying and detoxifying every part of you that is asking for release. It is a kind of expulsion of painful memories and stagnant emotions that have been waiting for this moment to dissolve. Although the process may feel intense, it is an act of universal love toward your growth, a gift so that you finally let go of the burden that hasn't belonged to you for a long time. How can you notice this purge in your everyday reality? It can feel chaotic. You may feel a strange discomfort in your body. Anger may appear out of nowhere, an explosive fury that first surprises you, and then you realize it comes from an old place within you that once felt ignored, silenced, or humiliated. That emotion is asking for your attention because it wants to be released. A deep sadness may also appear, leading you to cry without a clear reason, as if your soul were opening the floodgates to let out everything that should no longer remain stored. Memories may arrive from stages of your life you thought you had overcome. Memories of situations you believed forgotten return, so that you can address them with new awareness. This time they don't come to hurt. They come to be integrated. You may also encounter feelings of low self-worth, doubts about whether you deserve to move forward, thoughts that try to convince you that you're not enough, that you're not ready, or that you don't have what it takes to embrace what your soul is already asking of you. That inner voice that limits you is part of your shadow trying to stay in charge, resisting losing control. It knows that when you reconcile with yourself, its rule will end forever. The great test here is an exam of spiritual maturity, of how you choose to treat yourself when these challenges appear. The person who does not yet understand this emotional process will tend to blame those around them. They will seek a culprit outside, a friend, a relative, their job, or life itself. That reaction only makes the cycle repeat and strengthen. Every time you blame another for what happens within you, you lose the possibility to heal a key part of your story. The awakened soul does something entirely different. When anger rises in your chest, you choose to pause for a moment. You breathe deeply. You place your hand over your heart and ask yourself, what part of me wants to be heard? At what point in my story did I feel my boundaries were ignored? What truth do I need to recognize to reclaim my inner power? In that instant, you turn your emotion into a teacher and ally. If sadness fills your chest, you allow it to flow. You caress your heart from within, and you ask yourself, what loss did I never truly mourn? What aspect of me was left waiting to be brought back? Where did I abandon a part of my identity that needs to return to me? And in that answer, you reconcile with your essence. Passing this test means becoming an alchemist of your emotions. It means understanding that what feels uncomfortable or difficult today is actually a part of you returning home, asking for your embrace. None of these sensations are against you. Each one is a fragment of your soul, wanting to reintegrate into the light of your attention. This is the sacred work of emotional integration. You are lovingly gathering all the pieces that were once broken in your story, inviting them to return to the wholeness of your being. Each shadow you recognize and hold turns into strength. Each deep emotion you allow frees space for your purpose to manifest with clarity. Here lies the most powerful revelation. Every time you choose to heal during these 4 days, your vibration rises, your light expands, your personal energy becomes purer, firmer, and more magnetic. This purification, though intense, is clearing your path so that your destiny can unfold without interference from the past. It's as if your soul were removing the last locks that prevented your advance. This moment is your graduation ceremony within the School of Emotional Pain. You are finishing courses you have been carrying for years. You are crossing an inner frontier. Allowing this process is opening the door to a lighter, freer, more powerful version of yourself. What is emerging in these days is the prelude to your rebirth. You are letting go of a past that already fulfilled its role, and on the other side of this purge awaits the life your heart has long imagined. As these old energies leave your system, the fourth spiritual test inevitably activates, a challenge that can feel liberating and at the same time deeply painful. The test of the great re-evaluation of your relationships. This part of the process arrives just as your energy begins to rise into a clearer, more conscious, more authentic state. Suddenly, you are granted a different vision, as if you were observing life through new lenses. It is an X-ray vision of the spirit that allows you to see the essence of people, to feel who they truly are beyond appearances and beyond what they say with words. This lets you distinguish connections that expand and sustain you from those that drain you, minimize you, or hold you back. It's as if the universe were handing you a full audit of your social, romantic, and family life. You are facing a cosmic evaluation that invites you to review who deserves to walk by your side in this new stage and who belongs to a chapter that has already ended. This process can stir intense emotions because it forces you to recognize the truth without filters. You are being called to become a firm guardian of your own energy, and that means your heart can no longer allow itself to remain in spaces where your light dims, where your essence shrinks, or where your boundaries are crossed again and again. This re-evaluation manifests in many ways. You may suddenly realize that a years-long friendship has been sustained only by your effort. Perhaps you are the one who always listens, supports, consoles, and accompanies, while the other person is rarely available when you need them. You begin to clearly feel the weight of maintaining bonds where you give and the other only takes. You feel tired after seeing that person, as if your energy was spilling out without anything returning to you. Your romantic relationship may also reach a critical point. Those small things you tolerated for peace, or the parts of you that you hid so as not to make waves, become impossible to sustain. Your soul begins to demand authenticity. The inner voice that begged to be heard becomes stronger than the fear of change. And then there are family dynamics, those invisible loyalties that kept you playing a role you never chose. You begin to recognize patterns of manipulation, guilt, silence, or control that passed from generation to generation. Something inside you tells you that you are the one who came to break that chain. Setting boundaries can provoke resistance and even misunderstanding. But your spirit knows that in doing so, you are healing a whole line of your ancestral tree. The true test here is a test of deep courage. Courage to speak clearly. Courage to choose what your soul needs, even if another person doesn't understand it yet. Courage to close a door that no longer helps you grow. Courage to feel the temporary emptiness that a departure leaves, with the certainty that emptiness is sacred and will be filled with a higher energy. When someone ignores this test, they remain trapped in bonds where their energy deteriorates. They know the truth, they feel it, but they do not act. They stay in friendships full of wear out of fear of being alone. They stay in loveless relationships out of fear of change. They maintain dysfunctional family ties out of guilt or habit. That decision halts their evolution. That decision sends the universe a message that says, I settle for what limits me, even though I know I deserve more. But when you choose to pass this test, you open doors that were previously closed. You speak from your truth with respect and firmness. You express your needs. You allow yourself to say that something no longer works. And if necessary, you walk away with gratitude, because you know that person fulfilled their purpose in your story. You let go with love to create new space. You make moves that honor your inner worth. Keep this in your heart. The universe fills voids quickly when they are voids created from evolution. When you release a relationship that blocks your expansion, you send a powerful, energetic signal. I am ready for those who truly see me, respect me, and grow with me. From that moment on, your new connections begin to move toward you. During these days, you may also experience the beginning of the other side of this test. Unexpected encounters with people who seem to recognize your soul before you even exchange words. It could be a new friendship that feels as if it had existed in another life. It could be a romantic connection that awakens something deep in you, a sense of shared destiny. These new relationships arrive as a reward for your courage, as living signs that you're on the right path. The true test is to keep your heart open to endings and beginnings at the same time. Let yourself be guided by what you feel. If a connection feels heavy, it's a clear sign. If a connection gives you peace, lightness, and purpose, that is also a clear sign. Your feeling is your most powerful compass during this transition. Trust yourself. Honor your energetic standard. You are choosing who will walk with you as you enter the next chapter of your destiny. That choice changes everything. You are declaring who you are and which version of you is ready to manifest in your life. Now that you are cleaning your inner world and honestly reviewing your relationships, a test begins to appear that is reflected directly in your outer life. This fifth spiritual test often triggers more fear than any of the previous ones because it touches the deepest part of our human survival. The test of verifying your financial and material reality. Here, all the beliefs you carry about your stability, your security, and your self-worth are laid on the table. During these 4 days that precede October 31st, abrupt changes may arise in what you considered stable. An unexpected bill might arrive just when you thought you had everything organized. An important appliance in your home might suddenly fail. Your vehicle might have a breakdown that catches you by surprise. Even the technology you use daily could start acting up, forcing you to stop or change your plans. At work, you may feel such great dissatisfaction that it becomes impossible to ignore any longer. Your home may suddenly feel heavy, as if the energy were stagnant and begging for an urgent transformation. All these situations are clear signs that your physical life is also being cleansed. The purpose is to bring your deepest fears to the surface. The fear of running out of resources, the fear of having no support, the fear of failing, the fears you have been conditioned with for years. This test wants to show you where you have really placed your faith. Does your trust live within you? Or have you handed it over to money, to your job, to material possessions? From a young age, we've been taught to believe that survival depends solely on effort, sacrifice, and constant struggle. We were told we must sweat to earn, that security depends on accumulating and protecting what we have. That is the energy of scarcity, the story that something is always missing. This test arrives to help you free yourself from that limited programming, so that you begin to connect with prosperity as something natural, inherent to your existence. The bill that suddenly appears doesn't intend to sink you. It's there to show you your level of trust. The appliance that stops working isn't here to ruin your stability. It's here to show you how creative and flexible you can be in the face of changes. That feeling of wanting to leave your job immediately is a sign your soul has been whispering to you for a long time. You deserve a life more aligned with your gifts. What you're feeling is not an attack. It's a powerful reminder that you are ready for more. You did not come into this world to limit yourself to routines, paying bills, and waiting for the weekend. You came to share your essence with others, to serve with your talents, and to receive prosperity in all its forms as a result. This energetic movement is pushing you toward your true economic path. When someone tries to face this test from fear, the ego takes control. The mind begins to imagine losses, to worry about what could go wrong, to believe that everything is getting complicated. That focus attracts more tension, more scarcity, more blocks. It is the frequency of panic telling you to look only at the problem. The awakened soul acts differently. It breathes. It holds what is happening with greater calm. It observes what is presenting itself as a message and thanks it. It thanks the bill even if it doesn't yet know exactly how it will be paid. And it affirms from the heart, money comes to me in unexpected ways. It gives thanks for every sign from the universe that shows the path toward a more prosperous life. In this way, you shift your energy from desperation to trust, which is the key to attracting more resources. When work becomes intolerable, instead of drowning in frustration, you can see it as a divine alarm. It encourages you to ask yourself, what do I want to build? What is my true purpose? How can I use my talents to serve and prosper? Perhaps you feel the spark of an idea you've always kept hidden. This period may be the push you needed to take small but consistent steps toward a renewed path of work. If your home feels heavy or cluttered, you can begin to release what no longer has a role in your life. Each object you give away or recycle clears your energy. As you organize the outside, you also organize the inside. You are allowing new opportunities to flow into your space. This test is about choosing between two realities, the reality of fear or the reality of faith. In these 4 days, you will have clear evidence of which of the two you've been living in. Shift your focus from lack to gratitude. Notice what you do have. Remember that the universe has taken care of you in all moments, especially the hardest ones. Your security does not depend on what you possess. It is anchored in your soul and in your connection with life itself. Listen carefully, because what is happening now is no longer reflected only in your external experiences. It is being written directly into your body, your mind, and the way you perceive reality. You have lived through the process of purging hidden shadows. You have gone through the re-evaluation of your closest relationships. You have faced your material and economic fears, all that was necessary to cleanse the external. Now the universe wants to enter the most intimate part of you, your sacred biology, your mental field, and your perception of time itself. What you are about to experience is a total reconfiguration of your energetic and physical system. This is the upgrade your soul has awaited for years, a complete improvement of your human self designed so you can hold more light, more awareness, and a higher purpose. In this new stage, the universe is adjusting every part of your spiritual software and your biological hardware. This 6th spiritual test is the test of crystalline physical upgrade. Your body has never been just a container. It is a divine technology, an antenna that receives information from the cosmos, a transmitter of energy that influences your environment. And now this antenna is receiving more signal than ever. Your cells are learning to vibrate faster. Your DNA is awakening codes that have been asleep for a very long time. This upgrade is intense and can feel disorienting. If in these days you have noticed strange sensations moving through your body, breathe. It is exactly what needs to happen. What you are feeling is ascension in living flesh. Have you noticed sudden vibrations in your legs, your hands, or your whole body when you try to rest? It is your cellular structure adjusting. Your body is raising its pace, calibrating its energy to integrate new light. Have you felt your heart beating stronger or speeding up at calm moments? It's not an alarm, it's expansion. It is your spiritual heart opening to hold a larger form of love, a more authentic way of connecting with life. You may have noticed pressure in your forehead, right between your eyebrows, or even tingling in your head. That is your perception expanding. Your pineal gland, the center of your intuition, is awakening so that you can see beyond the obvious. And it's possible that strange pains appear in one place and then disappear as if nothing happened. These are trapped memories being released, ancient emotions leaving your physical memory. It is your story being rewritten from within. Your nights may also be altered. Between 2 and 4 a.m., you might be completely awake, as if something inside you were working. That is your body integrating codes of information that arrive silently while everything is still. And later, during the day, waves of deep sleep may come, as if your body needed several more hours to catch up with all that is changing. This is part of the upgrade. When you feel fatigue, your body is telling you it is receiving an immense amount of energy. It is an invitation to let it do its work. Your diet is also transforming. Perhaps you no longer tolerate what you used to eat without a problem. Processed foods, excess fat, or substances that lower your energy stop attracting your body. Instead, something within you seeks more freshness, more nature, more clean water. Your body is guiding you toward what helps it ascend. Water becomes essential. It is the conductor that keeps all your systems functioning while you transform. What is being evaluated here is your relationship with your body. How do you treat it? How do you listen to it? What place does it hold in your transformation? Those who still don't understand what's happening despair at every symptom. They turn any physical sensation into a reason for fear. They demand too much of themselves. They disconnect from what they feel. That reaction cuts the flow of energy and creates resistance. You can choose to do it differently. You can choose to see your body as your best ally. When fatigue arrives, you can thank it for all the subtle work it is doing. When you feel passing pains, you can breathe deeply and send light to that area, recognizing that it is releasing a part of your past. You can hydrate as if it were a sacred ritual. You can choose foods that truly nourish you, that fill your cells with life. You can move gently, lovingly, with the intention that your body flows in this new energy. Passing this test means falling in love with your physical form. It means treating your body like a temple that is evolving and opening to a higher level of existence. Your body is talking to you all the time. In these 4 days, it will do so even more clearly. Allow it to be your guide. Allow it to be the bridge to the new reality you are building with your energy and your awareness. Your body knows exactly how to ascend. The only thing it is asking is that you listen. As your physical body is recalibrated, so is your mind. And that inner turn leads us directly to the 7th spiritual test, which is waged in the most sensitive territory of all, the field of your thoughts, your beliefs, and the story you tell yourself about reality. It is the test of divine discernment. Here the setting is not a quiet room, but a highway of stimuli that seek your attention every second. Think about your usual day. Your phone vibrates, your inbox fills up, headlines compete to provoke an immediate reaction, and your thumb scrolls through a screen that seems to have no end. All that forms a high-pressure hose of data, opinions, agendas, and counter-agendas that try to anchor themselves in your mind. That excess noise doesn't appear by chance, especially now as you raise your energy. It is a strategy of a collective consciousness that resists transformation and feeds confusion to drain your focus. The old matrix, which is coming apart, thrived for centuries on emotions like fear and division, because a fearful mind is easier to drag where your soul doesn't want to go. During this 4-day period with the veil thinner, the psychic static is amplified and becomes more evident. You will perceive messages that contradict each other. You will see well-intentioned teachers giving opposing advice, and you will notice headlines that seek to activate you emotionally so that you react without thinking. That informational chaos tries to push you out of your center, to drive you into external dependency. It wants you to doubt your inner voice and to hand over to others the authority that belongs to you. Here the key question is born. Can you find the signal within the noise? Are you able to distinguish the frequency of loving truth from the frequency of self-interested manipulation? Where do you place the ultimate authority over your world? In voices outside you, or in the sacred chamber of your heart, where your intuition never betrays you? When you haven't cultivated conscious attention, you get caught in the mental weeds of the outer world. You spend minutes that turn into hours arguing in comment sections, jumping between theories that only inflame your anxiety. You enter spirals of indignation that leave you exhausted, and that energy ends up sustaining the very fabric of chaos you seemingly criticize. You hop from one guru to another, from one promise to the next, hoping for ready-made answers that tell you what to think and how to act. In that movement, you cede your power and become a puppet of emotional currents that do not reflect your truth. You are ready for something else. A soul that awakens understands that this battle is not won with more mental noise, but with vibrational sensitivity. Your logical mind has its value, though it can be trained, frightened, or conditioned. The true arbiter of truth is your body, your heart, your soul. Therefore, when information reaches you, practice a simple and profound gesture. Turn down the volume of the world, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel. Ask yourself, how does this feel in my chest, in my stomach, in my breath? Truth is recognized because it expands. It feels like a lucid calm in the heart. It may challenge old ideas. It may invite you to grow, and it still leaves you more whole, more dignified, more capable. Authentic truth never reduces you. It returns you to your personal sovereignty. It makes you remember that you can choose from love and that your path has direction. Manipulation, on the other hand, is recognized because it contracts. You feel tension in your jaw, a knot in your abdomen, a restlessness that doesn't resolve. The discourse is often strident, urgent from fear, and tends to divide with us versus them logic. It leaves you more anxious, more insecure, more dependent on an external authority that promises to save you. Passing this test means curing your informational diet with the same rigor with which you care for your physical nutrition. You decide what you open your mind's door to. You choose accounts and content that raise your clarity instead of igniting your panic. You turn off the noise that feeds on your startle. You become a creator of peace inside your head instead of a consumer of chaos. And above all, you return to trusting the compass that never fails you, your intuition. Remember that your heart is a direct channel to deep wisdom. When a doubt appears, you go inward first. You meditate for a few minutes, you walk in silence, you ask your higher self for clarity, and you open to the flashes of understanding that arrive like whispers. Those subtle impulses are reliable guides when your mind is agitated. In these 4 days, your graduation is to move from being a compulsive data collector to becoming an intuitive knower. You are activating your inner oracle, and that loving guidance leads you with precision through the fog. This path, through the tests of body and mind, places you before a challenge as subtle as it is profound. And for many, the most delicate of all, the 8th spiritual test, surrender to divine timing. You have worked hard, faced your shadows, reordered your relationships, aligned your economy, and honed your discernment. You can feel the mission lit within your chest. The future you want to create appears before you with such clarity that you can almost touch it. However, when you look at your immediate reality, it seems the great leap has yet to show itself. The dream project moves slowly. That relationship you called in with your soul does not materialize. The abundance you affirmed with such faith has not yet manifested in your account. You are standing at the border of your promised land, and the door seems locked. Here begins the true test. This distance between what you know in your heart and what you see with your eyes is part of a sacred pause. It is training in deep trust. The universe asks you, are you able to trust the cosmic clock when it doesn't match your human deadlines? Can you hold your vision with serene certainty while releasing attachment to the how and the when? Can you remain in joyful anticipation, keeping your vibration high, even when appearances whisper that you should give up? The ego hates waiting. It is uncomfortable with the pause. It wants immediate results, and it wants them now. Faced with stillness, the ego stirs doubts. It was too good to be true. All this work is useless. It inflames comparison with others and throws you into the poison of jealousy. It tries to force doors that are not yet ready to open, and that unsynchronized pressure only generates exhaustion, wear, and a sense of failure. If it persists, it ends up extinguishing the vision and settling for a small version of life, convinced that life forgot its promise. Your soul understands a different mechanism. You know that in the greater plan there are no delays. There is protection and preparation. If a door hasn't opened yet, it is not a condemnation. It is a precise choreography in which the universe aligns people, times and scenarios that still need to take their places to sustain your blessing. Like a master chess player moving invisible pieces, life is preparing something broader than your mind imagines. Passing this test is learning to embrace the pause. You don't see it as emptiness. You feel it as an incubation chamber. You use this stretch to polish skills, heal deeper layers, strengthen your body, organize your habits, and deepen your faith. You build a robust base so that when the floodgate opens, the force of the blessing does not sweep you away, but finds you ready to hold it with grace. You practice the art of active patience. You take small, inspired steps each day that bring you closer to your vision, and you do it from the joy of the process, not from desperation for the result. You begin to find your joy in the now, without postponing it for an unknown future. You hold the frequency of your desire while handing the details over to the wise weave of life. This is mature co-creation. You walk in faith and release rigid control. In these days, you will feel more sharply the tension between urgency and stillness. Let them coexist within you. Release the need to push. Hand over the timeline. Rest in the arms of the sacred and trust that you are being guided and prepared, and that at the perfect moment, not a second before or after, what you prayed for will arrive through paths you could not anticipate today. Your essential task is not to force it to happen. Your task is to become the person for whom it happens, inevitably. When that change is complete, the door opens and recognizes you. We have now reached the final threshold, the exact point where everything you have lived converges. You have walked through a deep labyrinth built with your emotions, your fears, your projections, and your dreams. You have cleansed your body, your mind, your energy, your relationships, and your view of the world. You have passed through tests that shook your essence from the foundations. Each one was deliberate preparation designed to strengthen you from within. And it is here, right here, where everything makes sense, because every authentic spiritual path has a decisive moment, the choice to become what your soul always knew you were. The ninth and final spiritual test is the test you have been training for your entire life, even before you were born. It is the moment when all your pieces fit. It is the activation of your sacred mission, the secret reason you came to this earth at this specific time in human history. This is the instant when your light stops, shining only inward, and begins to illuminate outward, touching others, transforming realities, opening pathways. For years you have felt a sensation that is hard to describe, a luminous restlessness, a silent certainty that you were here for something bigger than the daily routine. That inner fire that never goes out, that intuition that repeats that something is waiting to be born through you. Now, in these last hours of this powerful 4-day portal, that whisper will turn into a strong voice that will resonate within all your cells. Your purpose, the purpose that seemed hidden, will reveal itself before you with a clarity you will no longer be able to ignore. The universe looks you straight in the eyes and asks, now that you are awake, now that you remember who you are, what are you going to do with this awakening? That is the most important question of your existence, because spirituality did not end with meditating, visualizing, or healing. All of that was the training. The real game starts when you decide to act. This activation is born within you as an emotion mixed with enthusiasm and vertigo. It is a nostalgia for the future, as if you knew a world that does not yet exist, but of which you are one of the principal architects. The ideas that accompanied you in silence for years will suddenly stop being loose ideas and become instructions, maps, projects with a start date. What you considered a hobby, a curiosity, a secondary talent, begins to reveal itself as an essential piece of your mission. Perhaps your mission will manifest as creating a company that innovates in the way we live. Perhaps it will be a book that transforms beliefs. Perhaps it will be a message that heals lost souls. Perhaps it will manifest in your conscious motherhood or fatherhood, in cultivating a safe space for others, in transforming your community with small acts that are in fact gigantic. Magnitude is not measured by size, but by authenticity and devotion. Here comes the final confrontation, you versus your ego. The ego will make its last attempt to stop you. It will tell you that something is still missing for you to be ready, that you need to learn more, wait more, that others can do it better than you. It will try to convince you to stay small, to keep your light hidden for fear of being seen, judged, or criticized. That voice disguises itself as prudence, but it is made of fear, and fear tries to protect you without realizing that it also limits you. Failing this test is feeling your soul's call and still postponing it. It is leaving that project in the drawer. It is leaving that idea on a crumpled piece of paper. It is allowing the days to pass, while what you can offer the world remains inside you without manifesting. It is living without opening the gift you brought for humanity. It is abandoning the mission your spirit requested before coming here, but you have not come this far to give up. A being who has gone through purges, re-evaluations, synchronicities, physical upgrades, and great internal reconfigurations can no longer go back. You are a light worker, a warrior of the spirit, a conscious creator. Through this entire process, you have remembered this. This mission is not about you alone. It is about the promise your soul made to the collective before taking this body. Passing this test means taking that first step, even if your hands tremble a little, buying the domain you dream of for your project, starting to write, recording the first video even if your voice shakes, sending a message that makes you nervous, giving yourself permission to create. Action, even if small, action guided by the heart, action that transforms your energy into reality. That act is pure alchemy, turning an invisible purpose into a tangible manifestation in the physical world. That is how the new reality is created. That is how worlds that do not yet exist are built. Finally, you will realize that the permission was always within you, that waiting for the perfect moment was an illusion, that this is the moment, that you are ready now, that your entire story, every fall, every achievement, every scar was the training. Your wounds have become wisdom. Your limits have become strength. Passing this test is saying yes with conviction. Yes to your power, yes to your purpose, yes to the reason you are alive. In these last hours of the portal, your soul will speak clearly. All you have to do is listen to that voice and respond. Now I want to reframe this entire experience for you. During this journey, we called them spiritual tests because they felt like intense challenges that shook every part of your being. And they did. But that perspective tells only half the story. The full reality is much deeper and more powerful. Each test you went through was a door that opened before you, a portal that allowed you to take an evolutionary leap, an initiation into a more authentic and luminous version of yourself. Each experience was a sacred key designed to release a concrete miracle in your life. Nothing was punishment. Everything was preparation. Now let's name those miracles, so you can fully claim them as yours, to integrate them into your identity from today. The first test, the one of extreme sensitivity, was the key that opened the miracle of empathic connection. You are no longer feeling the chaos of the world as a crushing burden. You are beginning to read collective emotions as information. You are learning to feel the frequency of a place before entering it, to sense the state of a loved one before they say a single word. Your sensitivity has become a superpower, a radar that guides you toward what is true and away from what drains you. You are developing the ability to heal with your mere presence. The second test, the one of divine synchronicity, unlocked the miracle of communication with the universe. You have crossed the line of coincidence, and now you are in constant dialogue with life. The signs are not little coincidences you ignore. They are direct messages. The universe has become a partner with which you co-create in real time. Every repeated number, every unexpected encounter, every phrase that appears just when you needed it is confirmation that you are on the path. The third test, the purge of the shadow, unlocked the miracle of authentic liberation. Letting go of the past is a sacred act. You broke invisible chains that kept you from giving your all. The pain remained in its place, behind you. It no longer directs your decisions. Emotions that were knots have become doors to a deeper understanding of yourself. You are now more whole, more honest with yourself, more master of your own story. The fourth test, the re-evaluation of relationships, unlocked the miracle of soul tribe. You have cleared space from bonds that demanded more from you than they offered. And that space is being filled with people who vibrate with you. Connections that support you, friendships that propel you, souls that recognize your light because they are awakening their own. What is coming for you is true companionship, shared paths, collective creation. The fifth test, the material reality, unlocked the miracle of infinite abundance. You have begun to release yourself from the economic fear imposed by the old reality. You learn to trust the source of all prosperity. You are now aligned with an unlimited flow that opens to you when you act from your purpose. Wealth stops being a concern and becomes a means to amplify your mission. The sixth test, the upgrade of the physical body, unlocked the miracle of luminous embodiment. Your body is no longer an obstacle. It is an ally. It is a vibrant temple that knows how to ascend with you. The vitality that is beginning to awaken is just the beginning of the energy you will be able to hold. Your whole system is aligning to allow you to experience a more expansive, free, and full life. The seventh test, divine discernment, unlocked the miracle of sovereign inner knowing. You have stopped handing your authority to external noise. You no longer need anyone's permission to know what your truth is. Your heart has become the most reliable teacher, and your intuition is now a clear voice you will not hesitate to follow. That is the power of someone who trusts themselves. The eighth test, surrender to divine timing, unlocked the miracle of deep trust. You learned to release control of the details, to leave the how and the when in the universe's hands, to trust that life always works in your favor. This serenity opens doors that once seemed impossible and opens paths you didn't even imagine existed. And the ninth test, the activation of the sacred mission, unlocks the supreme miracle, a life with purpose and impact. This is the moment when you go from being a spectator to being a creator. Here you decide to leave your mark. Here you discover that your existence transforms the world. Here your legacy begins, and the joy that comes from that is a joy no superficial achievement can equal. These 9 miracles are your reward, your inheritance, your new reality. All of this already belongs to you because you have already embodied it through your own effort. And now, as we approach the close of this sacred transmission, I want you to understand something with absolute clarity. The warning at the beginning was not about fear. It was not a threat. It was a birth announcement, a bell announcing the start of a new life for you. These 4 days before October 31st were an intense initiation, a spiritual forging, a divine transition that uprooted the old so that your strongest version could emerge. You are the gold purified in the fire. You are the diamond formed under pressure. You are not the same being who began listening to this message. Remember, the past is fading behind you. What once defined you remains in a closed chapter. You are walking forward toward a reality created from awareness, intention, and personal power. With every decision, you are writing a new line of your story. You are part of the generation that changes destiny. You are the answer to the prayers of those who came before. You are the bridge to the future of this planet. You are a living portal. And now that you are awake, now that you know, now that you remember, it is impossible to go back. The universe and all benevolent forces celebrate your advance. You are aligned, supported, guided. You are ready to walk boldly, and the world is ready to see you shine. Take a moment to breathe and feel in your heart what has changed within you. You have listened to this entire message for a reason. You know it. You feel the truth of every word vibrating in your chest. You are here because your soul brought you to this exact point on your path. And now I want to make a very simple but very important invitation. Stay close, because this is only the beginning. What comes after this portal will be even deeper, more transformative, and more revealing for you. So if this message resonated with you, subscribe to this channel right now and activate the bell. You need to receive what comes next because it will be part of your process, your signs, your mission. Also share this video with someone who is awakening, with someone you feel needs to hear it, someone who deserves to remember who they really are. When you share light, light multiplies. Thank you for being here, for your time, your presence, your open heart. Thank you for allowing this message to reach the deepest part of your being. Thank you for being part of this community of awakened souls who are changing the world from within. You are doing so well. This is your moment. Welcome to your new reality.